Jules from the Razor's Edge, talking to the guys from Green Lung. So let's start, guys. Obviously, after last year's cancellation at very short notice, Damnation, how does it feel to finally come here and just, you know, absolutely tear it up on the stage today?
It feels very, very good. It feels like, actually the culprit is right here. We haven't revealed this, but
it's just you, Joe.
Went down with the play.
We won't hold it against you, Joe.
I know. I was very, very upset. A lot of
was it literally the day before? Was it?
It was, yeah. A lot of frantic calls to test and trace, trying to figure out exactly what was going on.
A lot of ethical dilemmas about whether we were prepared to give everyone COVID.
But yeah, I would much rather come and do like a proper show and not like infect everybody else, you know. So like,
to tell the truth, the size of room you would have played in last year, I think it would have been chaotic. It was a fucking tiny room.
Yeah,
you know, probably a third of the size that you played tonight.
That's the benefit of like I used to come to the festival, you know, 10 years ago. It was at Leeds. I remember going to the Carcass one, and I don't know when that was, but it's been cool to like come here for the big year and
the big year. How have you found the new venue? Has it been
great.
Stage wise, sound wise for you guys, all good?
I mean, like that fucking show was chaos. There was
in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, crowd surf was pulling out my pedals and like.
Oh, it's never a good thing, is it?
But it's like you got to dodge. You know, it was great. It was like a hardcore show at points, but which is funny because we're playing like occult rock. It's like.
Well, no, it's like you know, the reaction of the crowd. You know, I was probably, I don't know, quarter of the way back, and even then people around me singing the words.
Nice. And, yeah, it's fucking great that, and I think that's the nice thing about. I mean, we had it with lockdown as well. Like, you know, sometimes it sucks on the day when you find out you're not going to do that thing, but then rather than like fading away, it feels like the band, you know, more people know about us. And that's made for a better show. So it's all good.
I think to me it's almost like a trajectory since, you know, Bloodstock a couple of years ago when that Soviet Temp was fucking rammed. Then I think a few weeks later I did the Dome gig you played, the album launch show, and that was like sold out, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was wild,
really wild show that was. Yeah. And that was the first time I sort of thought, yeah, these guys are going somewhere, you know, really going to kick on, I think. So
yeah, it's kind of mad, and it was kind of nice, like you know, the Nuclear Blast thing. We kind of had it under our, you know, we had it under wraps for a while. And it was like impatiently sort of waiting to tell everyone because
it was.
You know,
was there sort of like almost like a bidding war? Was there a few labels interested, or was it always going to be Nuclear Blast?
Yeah, and like last time around, you know, we had a lot of conversations, and there's some labels that, you know, I grew up like. It's fucking great, like when people care. And what's kind of nice is that I don't know, Nuclear Blast had bought Woodland rights and Free the Witch and put them out again. And it's kind of funny, like when we were recording those albums, if you told me that like that would be 5 years time what was happening, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, you're right though, you know,
we were tiny.
I'm a lot older than you guys, and Nuclear Blast were a label, even when I was like probably late teens, in my early 20s, they were putting out the good stuff even in days, you know.
And it's funny, like, I had a certain like impression of Nuclear Blast, but it's really interesting at the moment, like in the UK, you know, Conjurer and Malevolence, they're not bands like us, but they're doing, you know, they're bands that excite me, and you know, they've got some precedents for this sort of stuff we play, like Cadaver and Graveyard, but like it was just basically like it just made total sense when we chatted to them. And some labels, it's kind of, I don't know, it's they're not getting it. I think preserving like the good stuff, the DIY stuff, is going to be really important. I don't want it to sound like, you know, it's not going to sound like a symphonic melody.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Svart have got this like a little bit niche occult, you know, they do some different stuff going on. So do you feel maybe you might lose that slight edge moving to Nuclear Blast, or are you going to have that freedom still, do you think?
Like we're using, you know, Wayne, who recorded Free the Witch, is, you know, we've been doing some pre-prod with him. Like the formula's not, like the people haven't changed, the production hasn't changed. It's just going to be, it might be a bit more refinement and stuff, and there's probably stuff when we were doing DIY made the band interesting, and we don't want to lose that, like the mistakes that are good.
Yeah, sure.
But it's making it, you know,
I think it's audience serving as well, you know, we just want to make sure that it gets out to whoever wants to hear it. And up until this point, that's always been, as amazing as Smart work, like it was work to try and get it out to everybody who would like to hear it. And now, hopefully, this is the next stage that we can...
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And if you look at another band I love who were playing later, Paul Bearer, actually, or Nuclear Blast as well, they've done good stuff for those guys, you know, so hopefully they do the same for you.
No, I think Nuclear Blast have been very encouraging. It's a very nice vibe. We're very excited about it.
No, it's good to hear. It's good to hear, guys.
And it's nice to like have a label in London that we can go. You know, like we had a meeting yesterday where it's like, here's the fucking idea for the album, and talk. You know, have just being able to have that human contact. We're like, we've always worked with European labels who we've never met. You know, most of the time. And
as far what, Finland are they?
Yeah, and I'm really sad we never
made
made it out there. And obviously we love those guys, and they've still got Black Heart. You know, like I think they'll be doing vinyl of our records for a long time to come.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll make it out to Helsinki. But yeah, it just made sense. And also it's a really fucking rough time to be a band, and like going with a bigger label that maybe was a bit safer, you know, in keeping the band going.
Yeah, sure.
And you know, when you know, we've got like really exciting stuff coming up, like Clutch Tour.
Oh,
but
man,
it's
tell me
tough
about it, yeah.
making that shit work.
And was that you got that tour before the Nuclear Blast Connection? Did you? Or?
Yeah, it was a kind of weird. I don't.
Because it must be when that came out, I was like, wow, that's fucking great. How good is that?
Yeah,
Well, you're telling me.
Like,
Like, our drummer's like, I hope you won't mind me saying, like a huge Clutch fan.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember seeing them at like Temples Festival 10 years ago and losing my shit. And I don't know.
And the Roundhouse as well, it's great.
Yeah,
I'm talking London-wise, obviously the Roundhouse,
course,
It's just got weird, frankly.
And just going back to the Nuclear Blast thing, so they're going to reissue Free the Witch and Woodland Rights, is that right?
Yeah, they've re-released them on digital, but you know, we'd always done those ourselves, and like if they can get them out there a bit further, that's great. I don't think that's like the big focus. I think the big focus is album 3, and it's we're about 2/3 there, I think, in terms of the writing process, and I'm like really stoked on it. I think I'm probably more excited about this one than I ever have been before. Not just because it's bigger. I know people actually care now. You're not just sort of recording something that could easily just end up and everyone never being heard.
I think I sensed that even for Black Harvest. You know, people were starting to be a buzz around you guys, and
I can't
building from Woodland Rights. So
it's a weird thing.
People
come to it different times.
Amazing about people listening. You know, it's like you know people are going to hear it, and suddenly it's like.
Yeah, it's an interesting challenge.
It's a very inspiring thing to do as well. Isn't it?
So how's the year been for you overall then? Now, obviously, towards the end you've got the Nuclear Blast announcement and the Clutch tour, which is obviously superb. But a few festival appearances this year, I think you've done, and obviously sounds like you've been recording an album as well.
We've done a bunch of festival shows. We played. My favourite one was Palk Festival in Switzerland, which is on top of a mountain.
Oh man, was that the one that Orange Goblin played as well?
Yeah.
I saw the photos like.
And it's like forest, mountain, and like literal goats coming up the hill. It was like, well, you know.
It sounds like the perfect Green Lung setting, really, doesn't it?
It was, and we were subbed in at the last minute as well, so it was really funny. Like, that was my favourite probably. But you know, it's been an interesting challenge. Like, we just haven't played live very much, to be honest. And playing those shows is great. And I'm glad we had all that before Clutch, because Clutch is big, and like the live stuff has just come along a lot, and it's still like absolute madness like it was tonight. But we can probably, you know, I feel a lot safer with the live show now, and it's like we know it can. You know, those songs weirdly, even though we were writing them in a in a tiny studio in Haggerston, and like. I recorded the vocals for Woodland Rights in a council estate practice room, and you can hear bleed on the mic from a gospel drummer playing next door.
I had like a little studio space,
but we
kind
of
like guy like banging away next door, you know.
But knowing that like those songs that were recorded in those circumstances have the space to grow into those rooms, it's great, because like I knew they were big songs, but they were always being played in tiny rooms. They make more sense like in a room like that, I think. It feels more like, oh, that's the sort of size it should be.
Yeah, and obviously seeing that sort of crowd reaction as well, it's pretty frantic, I thought.
Oh man,
for heavy.
You don't mind the stage dives pulling your mics out and shit, do you?
Oh man, it's good fun. It's like you can't match the energy. Like making a record so different to getting on that stage and doing it, and that's really exciting. It's always, I can't help but like smile every time somebody clambers up, you know.
There was a sort of slight Bruce Springsteen, Courtney Cox moment with a girl during Graveyard Sun. So fucking stupid.
Yeah, I saw that. Don't drop her, for God's sake, you know.
I know, mate. Like, but it's great, you know. And it's funny doing it here. Like Damnation, I used to come here as a punter, but like, it is an extreme metal festival, and the fact that they can have like an occult rock band doing massive choruses and like you know, solos and shit, and it's kind of, I don't know how we get away with it, but like I'm so stoked that we can come to a festival like this and people
we get away with it, and I'm not going to blow smoke up your arse. You do it fucking well. You do it fucking well, mate. So, you know, you connect with the crowd. So yeah. Anyway, I'll hide the goatee badge. So the Clutch tour, is that you just supporting them in the UK, or are you doing Europe as well?
Doing Europe as well.
No, nice one. So how many days is that then?
That's almost 5 weeks we're out with them. Yeah, so it's there's some bus stamina going on, you know.
Yeah, I bet,
that's going to be a lot of fun. Really nice chance to like hone some stuff. Like,
is it the first sort of big European tour you've done with that ilk of a band like that, I suppose?
For sure,
that size, with like those guys.
But honestly, because of the 2 years off, I think Puppy, who are our mates,
No, I like Puppy.
That's like the biggest band we've supported on tour, and like it's just funny because I don't know, Clutch obviously exists in a different world to the London scene and everything, and it's just like it's hard to imagine, and it's going to be it's a good thing to be doing, I think, before the new album, because it's like we're there 27 shows, you know, just learning, you know, really like the craft of live, and I think that energy hopefully comes into the new album, because you know, Black Harvest, I've said this loads in interviews, but it was like, you know, trading stuff online, working at, you know, that album was written in a really weird way, it feels like a live band, you know. We like to be in the room working out what the songs are together, and I'm just really excited about you know, doing some writing on the tour as well.
Yeah, so we've sort of mentioned the album a few times now, so how far into it are you, and are you any idea of release dates or any schedules coming up?
We're too clever to say anything about
I bet you are, yeah. You don't have to commit to anything.
I'm not in the fucking today's world where basically if you vinyl, you know, we're a vinyl band as well, and like
absolutely,
you've got to plan it.
Which is probably easier on Nuclear Blast, I would have thought, given the numbers they might pressure you. So
that's part of it, you know. We're thinking like, that stuff. You know, it killed me. What people waiting for ages for you know, it is a brutal thing as an artist when you're like.
Funny enough, I got mine really early. I think I got mine direct from the spot.
Yeah, that's probably why.
And then I saw you live and got the Glow in the Dark thing and whatever. So So apart from recording the album, any sort of tentative plans for next year? Is it going to be getting the album out and touring the album, maybe festivals in the summer?
I think
get yourselves back to Bloodstock, hopefully.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I mean, we're starting to sort of look at next summer and stuff like that. I think it's like Clutch has been such a big thing on the horizon. Once we're past that, I think we can really start thinking about what's coming after album 3.
It's almost like the Roundhouse shows, almost like the Christmas show, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
It's almost like, is it a Saturday before Christmas? I think almost.
It's fucking great.
It's going to be a great show.
I think you know, next year probably the shape of it is spring is album writing, recording sort of time, hopefully. Whether, you know, it depends. I don't know what that means in terms of release date, but we're aiming for next year.
Okay, cool.
It might be the tail end of, but yeah, we've got some good festivals lined up as well, for sure.
Okay.
I can't wait to announce.
Good. I look forward to that as well.
Yeah, and that'll keep us going live. But like, hopefully there's a new album. You know, we're sort of, I guess the Clutch tour is sort of the end of Black Harvest as a cycle.
The cycle, yeah.
So, and that's funny because we've never really had a cycle before. Never like, it's just been like, should we do another one?
Oh, not in such a grand way. Anyway. You know, it's what a way for that album to sort of finish its first outing. You know?
Excellent. Well, cheers, guys. The last question I've asked the bands I've been talking to tonight is a lot of the bands at Damnation have been doing an album in its entirety, whether it's Jane Doe or whatever. If you could see any band you've not seen do an entire album, who would that be? I'll put you on the spot. Sorry, Joe.
That's an interesting one. I'd like to see Merciful Fate do Melissa. And I'd like to see Danzig do 1 and 2 with an interval.
I saw Danzig do. Oh, what's the one I did a few years ago at the Roundhouse? Oh, the second album, The Skull on the Front. That was cool. That was really good. Yeah.
I can't believe I missed that. Also, I'd like to see a resurrected Pete Steele do October Rust.
Yeah, dig him up. Yeah.
He'd love it.
No, I bet he would. Yeah. And Joe?
Well, if Elder did Silver Sessions tonight, I'd be very happy. I don't think that's going to happen.
It won't, but you're right. That's so that more crap rock style of Elder, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you heard Delving, Nick's other band?
No.
Oh mate,
that's Nick's
check
other band.
Delving out. It's very more kraut rock sessions like the Gold and Silver. Oh, it's really.
I didn't even realise that was Nick's other band.
No, it's his other band. Yeah, it's really cool. It's much more that sort of Gold and Silver session stuff. But guys, you know, 50 minutes has flown by, which is always a good sign. Absolute pleasure. Really, honestly, the set tonight's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And I look forward to seeing you guys with Clutch and
well, thanks for
going to come next year
as well. Like, we appreciate it, man.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website. www.therazorsedge.rocks.